We see a lot of crazy stuff in real estate, a whole lot of crazy mess. And it's hard for me to express to people some of the crazy things that I've seen probably over the last 20 years in the business. So, some of these videos cover it. All right, let's
Let me
go.
tell you a crazy and creepy real estate story. We bought our house a few years back during a small housing crisis. We bought it from a single guy in a similar age range as us. He just lost his well-paying job and needed to downsize his life to adjust to his now lower income. Maybe we should have asked why he lost his job, but honestly, we didn't care. We were just so excited to finally move into a home of our own, especially after living in apartments for so long. We were a small family. It was me, my husband, our 2 children, and a cat. I love cats, but maybe things would have been different if we had a dog. At first, things seemed pretty normal. There would be weird noises on occasion, unexpected occurrences. The energy bills were strangely high, and the water usage was more than we expected. We just chalked it up to it being a new house and our general unfamiliarity. For a few years, that was our new normal. Then one day we noticed the guy we had bought the house from hanging around in the neighborhood, which we thought was definitely weird, but what was super weird about that is definitely weird.
Hold on. I'm going to run this back real quick. Did you hear what she just said?
Definitely weird, but what was super weird about that is that he fled when we tried to strike up a conversation. Things started feeling really weird again. And for a few years, that was our new normal. Then
for a few years, that was their new normal. So they had been in that house for a few years.
We noticed the guy we had bought the house from hanging around in the neighborhood, which we thought was definitely weird, but what was super weird about that is that he fled when we tried to strike up a conversation. Things started feeling really weird again, and we started paying more attention to the strange noises, high water, and high energy usage. What we did is we asked the energy company to send out an inspector to find out where the power was going. And he was able to trace our wires and find a juncture leading off to who knows where on the property. After that, we had a survey done on our property to find out where exactly the wires were going, and we found a hidden underground bunker. The guy who sold us the house was still living on the property in this underground bunker, stealing our power, water. He had hidden cameras in most of the rooms in the house. And according to him, it was so he could time his arrivals and departures so that we wouldn't see him leaving the bunker. But
wow, this is crazy. This is probably one of the top 10. This is definitely my top 5, I would say. Because I sold the house that had a bunker and it was hidden in the floor before, so I can get it. But I'm trying to figure out, how did you not know through your utility bill that it was like slightly higher? I don't know. Water too?
Pretty sure he was just creeping on all of us. And thankfully, the judge agreed with us. After all of that, he was arrested for this, but we also sold the house and moved the heck out of there. We were very careful while choosing the new owner, and we explained the bunker to the new owner. We explained how we changed the locks. We also made sure that the new owner knew the day the old owner was expected to be released from prison. Thankfully, the newest owner thought the bunker was pretty cool, and he told us he was going to turn it into his gamer bunker, which, awesome. We wished him the best of luck on that. During the selling process, we refused to sell to families with children or to single women for fear of what the old owner might do when he got out of prison. What would you have done in this situation?
Wow.
Did you?
Wow, that's a good one. That's probably in my top 5 right now. That's in my top 5. And it's only in my top 5 because I've actually sold a bunker before, sold a house that had a bunker below before. So that's definitely in my top 5.
No, that it is illegal. In fact, it is a felony to throw away cremated remains if you find them. Yeah, me neither. Want to know how I found out? I had buyers. We closed on a property. First time buying a home. Wife is pregnant. We do the final walkthrough, and the seller has left a bunch of crap in the house, including a purple velvet couch and many boxes, in one of which, at the very bottom, covered by a bunch of crap, clothes and whatnot, is an urn filled with ashes. So my buyers call me and they say, hey, So we found ashes in one of these boxes, and we don't know what to do with that. And I said, me either. Let me call the listing agent and see what the seller says. So I reach out to the listing agent, who is equally like, oh, okay. Let me reach out to the seller and see what they say. Calls me back, and he says, the seller said they can throw them away. Like, honey, what did you do to somebody in this life that they're like, throw those ashes away? So my buyers are like, we don't feel right about doing that. That feels like a really wrong thing to do. And I said, I totally understand, but I don't know what to offer here. I don't even know where to direct you guys.
Is that like the same thing of like throwing somebody away? No, just joking. I mean, at the very least, I think you should go and like sprinkle the ashes like in the nearest lake or river body, or I don't know, maybe what would you do with the ashes? Leave a comment.
So they reach out to a local funeral home who pulls up the records based on the last name of the seller and realizes that there's another living sibling who is the brother of the seller. So they reach out to the brother, and the brother says, that's my dad. That's my dad, and me and my dad have a strained relationship with my brother, the seller, and he has kept those from me, and I would like them back. I mean, strained relationship is probably putting it lightly, don't you think? Anyways, buyers somehow meet up with the brother, deliver dad's remains. Brother is super grateful, and all is well. The moral of the story is, if you ever buy a house and you find cremated remains, do not throw them out. Call the local funeral home. And that is the craziest shit that I have ever learned from being in real estate.
Okay, craziest.
I would say that's probably my top 15. I would say top 15. I can only imagine what people in real estate go through. This is definitely a crazy one. That is probably in the top 15. No lie, Danny. That's like in the top 15. That's insane. That's insane. I've never seen that. I mean, siblings, you can have beef with your siblings and be upset, but throwing away your dad? Never seen that before.
Story yet. We had a house that was supposed to close today, and I get a call back from the title company saying there's title issues. So I spent time with the attorney just trying to figure out how to solve these title issues, and then the kicker came. Our person that was working with the seller talks to the seller, and the seller says, I don't want to talk to an attorney. I'm going to tell you what happened. This seller moved into a vacant house 10 years ago. 10 years ago. Moved in. Nobody said anything. So he forged a deed, notarized it himself, went to the county record, deed into his name, and started paying taxes and utilities and paying everything on it, and just act like he lived there. And he was trying to sell the house, and the title company says something's not right here.
Yeah, and this is the craziest part. He did this for 10 years. That means the person who actually owned the property, they either had died, they left, something happened. For you to sit in a house, squat for 10 years and switch the deed and the title over, oh my gosh. How do you forget real estate? How do you forget you own a house? I don't get that. Like, maybe you just got money like that.
And then the guy comes clean. Tell me that's not insane. Don't get any ideas out there. That's not a good business move for everybody here. Tell me that's not insane. Oh my gosh. Hey, Post some things of some of the things that you've heard or seen happen. That's crazy. And also hit the follow button. And if there's any questions or topics you want to talk about dealing with real estate, post in the comments section. Go kill it. Live uncommon.
Ooh, that is bananas. That
Okay,
was
so I
crazy.
just went to show
Top
what I
20.
thought was a vacant house. And me and my client, who's my girlfriend, pull up. It's a waterfront house, cute neighborhood, and the door's open. And I'm like, that's really weird. So my friend was the listing agent. So I call my friend and I'm like, hey, the door's open and it's like propped up by a bag and there's a truck outside. It's supposed to be vacant. And he's like, well, I think it's a worker. Like, it's fine. Don't worry about it. They're probably like just doing some work on the house. So I'm like, okay. So we go in. There's a guy that looks like vagrant-ish, literally sitting on the couch watching TV. And I'm like, that's odd. I was like, oh, sorry. My friend's the listing agent. He told me this was vacant. Like, we're coming in for a showing. So the guy grabs his cigarettes, grabs his stuff, and literally like runs out the door and drives away. Thought that was super odd. We open the fridge. It's full of food. We look at the bathroom and it's very clear that someone just showered there and there's a towel there. So I call my friend and guess what? It was a squatter.
I had a client very interested in older.
That is so. I think that's more prevalent in Atlanta. I mean, have you seen these stories in DC where they had the DC squatter? Atlanta is ridiculous for this, man. DeKalb County, Clayton County. If that house is sitting for a period of time, if it's sitting too long, I'm telling you, you're gonna get squatters. That's why I don't put up signs in none of my listings. Simply because you will get squatters. I'm telling you. Remember that. Don't let nobody tell you anything different. But that's probably in my top 25 because I've dealt with squatter situations before.
Homes. He was like, it needs to be built in the 1970s, 1980s. It has more character. And I'm like, perfect. So we go look at this home. It has everything he wants. We go into the master and it's dark in the master. I open the door to the master closet and there's a voodoo doll in the closet just staring at us. There's nothing else in that room but that voodoo doll. And we're like, oh, okay. We go into inspection. The voodoo doll's still there. We don't touch it. So I'm texting the agent, hey, there's a doll. There's some stuff they left behind that still hasn't been removed. And she's like, okay, I'll be sure to let them know. And I'm like, okay, they're going to remove it, right? I'm like, specifically that closet. There's something in there they should take with them. And she's like, yeah, I'll let them know. We go and get the keys and we walk it after closing and that voodoo doll is still there just staring at us. So my client's like, I don't know if I want to live here. You have to. You just closed on the house. And after closing, that voodoo doll was the only thing left behind. So thankfully, I checked in with the client, and he has a happily ever after. No voodoo activity at that house.
Okay, craziest story on my part. We bought a duplex, me and my business partner. We kept it for about a year. Money went up. Great deal. Ended up selling it. 3 years later, the lady we bought it from, who bought it from another lady, her nephew shows up and says, hey, my aunt never sold that house to that other lady. That lady took it from my aunt. And then commenced to take us to court. And you know what I did? I called the title company. And they took them to court because we had sold it. So they need to deal with the people that we sold it to, not with us. But the crazy part about it, everything he said was fake. Everything. Yeah. Real estate is crazy, bro. You got to have that mind where you like, man, you just never know what you're going to get hit with that day.